Merry meet and welcome to our stream, everybody. This is Ariel Gatoga, and we are streaming live on YouTube and on Twitch. This is Witchy Wednesday, and I'm so grateful that you are here. I believe we have Dre on Twitch and Diane on YouTube, so if I'm wrong, I apologize. But thank you, moderators, and thank you to everybody for joining us today. I am still not quite ready to start the magical handwriting course. I have a little bit more work to do on it, so I don't want to rush things. So I thought we would do a couple little spells today, and I hope that's okay with everybody. And I hope you are doing very, very well today. And if not, maybe some of these magical spells will fix it for you. We are, as I said, streaming live on YouTube and on Twitch. If you happen to be watching us on YouTube, please make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell. If you're watching on Twitch, please make sure that you follow us. And you can watch on Twitch without ads by subscribing to us there. We have a shop at arielscornershop.com, arielscornershop.com. All kinds of witchy supplies are available by clicking on those affiliate links in there. We do make a small commission off of each and every sale, and we do appreciate your support. Helps to sort of offset some of the expenses we have here at Ariel's Corner. Another way to help us is by sending a donation, and you can do that by going to paypal.me/arielgatoga, paypal.me/arielgatoga. If you're watching on YouTube, you could use a super sticker or super chat if you're live, or a super thanks if you're on a restream. We have a Discord server, and we have a Facebook group, which are great places if you want to come and receive or offer support with other people that are on their magical journey. And you can find information about how to get to each of those places, Discord and the Facebook group, in the footer of every single page on our website, ariels-corner.com. That's Ariel's Corner with a -.com. We have chat threads open on each of these streams. If you have any questions for me, you can put them right in the chat thread, and I will get to them before the end of the stream. We do not have a premiere today, so we should have no trouble getting to questions if they do come in. Alrighty, let's get going. Let's do the money spell first, and then I'm going to give you a little easy system of magic that you can use for any purpose. So we'll do two little spells here. Okay, we don't need this in the shot. Okay, so you need a bottle. It doesn't have to be a bottle of water, but just some container with water in it. I like to use a bottle. Some sugar. You can either use one small drop of dishwashing liquid, or you can use, I prefer something with ammonia in it, so I'm just going to use some glass cleaner. I'm not trying to do product placement. This is what I'm using for my glass cleaner. And then you can use either verbena cologne, Florida water, or any traditional eau de cologne. Then we want 3 coins. So whatever your container of water is, we'll start with that. Now, this is a spell that you want to use to bring money in. It's especially good if you have a business. So if you have a place of business, you'll want to do this on the place of business. And if you are working out of your home, do it on your home. You can also use it for general prosperity. You don't have to use it as a business sort of thing. All right, so we start out by putting not a whole lot of sugar in here. So I'm not going to use this whole teaspoon of sugar. Just a few grains is all that's necessary. That's probably more than we need, but that's okay. And then I want to put in, now if you're using detergent, just one little drop, because you don't want a ton of suds. But this, I'm just going to spray a bunch of ammonia-based glass cleaner in here. And then on top of that, I'm going to spray a goodly amount of verbena, or what other cologne you're using. I like a good amount because I want it to have a fragrance to it. So it's going to smell like perfume and ammonia, and that's exactly what you want. Then we put our 3 coins in the bottle, and I'm going to just shake it up. And I just use the good old-fashioned money chant that is so silly but works so well. Money, money, come to me. Money, come to me today. As I will, so mote it be. Money, money, come to me. Money, come to me today. As I will, so mote it be. Money, money, come to me. Money, come to me today. As I will, so mote it be. 3 repetitions is sufficient. And then I just take this and I pour the whole thing out right outside of the front door of my establishment. So that's either where I do my business commercially or my home if I do a business at home. These coins I leave where they fall. And if somebody finds them and picks them up, they are blessed. But I don't pick them up myself. I just pretend like I don't even see them. And that's all there is to it. Simple and effective. All right, let's get to this other one now. This other spell is, I'm just going to put, we don't need to be looking at this altar. Let's do this again. This one we don't need to show you anything. This is called the Knock on Wood spell. I had a version of this up on my channel a while ago, but I took it down just because the quality of the video wasn't very good. So I thought we would bring it back. Knock on wood, the Knock on Wood spell. For many years, people have used the phrase knock on wood to express a belief in good luck. Some individuals even physically knock on a nearby wooden surface, or in Britain, they just touch wood when talking about their good fortune, or if they mention something wonderful, they knock on wood or touch wood so that they don't jinx it. Early Christians had this practice of tapping on wood or trees with their fingers or knuckles, and they believed that this act would invoke the mystical power. And they believed that this act would invoke the mystical power of the cross. Actually, there's a magical system called conscious wrapping that predates Christianity. The system is still practiced today, but remained a closely guarded secret amongst a very small, selective group of magicians until probably just a few decades ago. And now I've heard about it more and more frequently in the common zeitgeist, but it had been something that had not been something that had been talked about very frequently. So I want to make sure to share this with you because it's very powerful. And the way I heard about it, it was called wrapping, but I'm going to call it knocking. It's a very simple and very powerful system of magic, and it's designed to attract or repel something in every single case. All you need to do is sit and daydream about what it is that you want, or daydream that you're being rid of something that you don't want. You just daydream for a few moments, just very casually visualize it. You don't want to feel like you're intensely thinking about it. You just casually think about what it is that you desire to bring into your life, or that which you desire to rid your life of. And then you decide what planet rules whatever desire you have. Now, in the video description, I have given a list of each planet and some of their common spell uses, plus the planetary number. And then all you do is audibly knock, preferably on wood, the number of times indicated by the planetary number of the planet, the planetary number. It's a very powerful experience, and a lot of people hear it and they think, oh, great, more superstition. No, this is actually, you're actually opening a portal to planetary influences for you. And it's so powerful that I really caution you to be careful of what you ask for, because you will probably get it. So you'll knock the specific number of times, setting a very powerful cosmic force in motion every time you do so. So no matter what it is that you seek, you can open up a portal to the planetary energies that govern that thing that you desire. And through just the very simple power of knocking, allow those powers to be set forth. Now, the reason why it's so effective is because of its simplicity. So you want to make sure to keep it simple. Don't be too elaborate with it. Keep it very simple and understand that infinite intelligence works through those planetary influences for your good. Because if your desires are righteous desires of the heart, meaning that they are something that you truly desire from your heart, and they are not based on something that's unhealthy for you, you will get them. And since you are knocking, the door will be opened to you. And so here we go. So let's say you had a desire of Saturn. And the Saturn's kind of deals with boundaries and order and works for the spells of certain types of protection, definitely spells of discipline, but about buying and selling real estate, antiques, and anything dealing with the elderly and old age, deals with accountability, old debts, things like that. So let's say you had a Saturn-oriented spell. You would look it up and you'd realize, okay, Saturn is number 3. So I'm going to sit and just casually daydream about what it is that I want. And I could even say out loud what it is that I want. Let's say you were taking care of your elderly parent or grandparent, and they were at a place where they couldn't help themselves anymore, and you wanted them to get the support that they needed for a medical condition that they were going through. So you could just visualize that their condition had been healed, and you could say, I call upon the powers of Saturn so that my grandma is healed of this ailment. And then you knock 3 times. And you want to knock loudly enough that somebody can hear it from at least 300 or 400 feet away, nice and loud. Then you just sit there with that for a second, and you express gratitude, and then you are done. That's all it is. It doesn't need to last more than 60 seconds. Let's say, you wanted for Jupiter. Jupiter is the largest planet in the solar system, associated with wealth and prosperity. And you wanted to do something to attract great abundance, or maybe world travel, or victory over a legal problem that you're dealing with, expanding on your good, finding mercy, finding kindness or generosity. Let's say it was just general that you wanted to increase your income for the next 6 months. So you'd kind of decide what that would look like. And again, you don't want to get too specific, but you would just say, I call upon the powers of Jupiter to help me to expand my income by 10% over the next 6 months. And you just see that very casually. You feeling very respectful and reverent. You recognize Jupiter's number is 4, and you say, and you sit there with that, and then you give some sort of gratitude and acknowledgement that it is done, and then you're done. That's all there is to it. Let's say with Mars, you recognize that Mars is the planet of courage, ambition, also conflict, and bravery, determination, also surgery and the recovery of from surgery, armed forces, veterans issues, protection, anger management, resolving disputes, all of that kind of stuff. So let's say that you decided that you wanted to be able to stand up for yourself better, and you feel like you just cower and you can't ever speak your truth because you feel too vulnerable and too afraid. And you just call on the power of Mars. You just say, I call upon the power of Mars in this moment, and I ask for bravery. I ask to be brave and to be able to say my truth and to face my fears and go through them and triumph. You just see yourself doing that. allow yourself a little silence, and then you go 5 times. You sit there in the silence for a moment. You express your gratitude, open your eyes, and you know that it is done. Let's say that you wanted to do a solar spell. So in magic, we call the sun a planet, even though it's not a planet. That's just based on ancient practices before we realized that the earth wasn't the center of the universe. But the sun, symbolizing vitality and creativity, power, good health, personal magnetism, definitely male health issues, health that are specific to the male body, success, visibility, expanding your influence, your creativity, business success. So let's say you decided that you wanted to do a solar spell, and that's because there's also a protective element with the sun. And you say, well, I want to protect myself. I want to feel like I'm safe as I walk about my life, and I want to feel as though I've got mighty protection around me at all time. You could do that with Mars, but the sun is also a wonderful place to do that. And so you just sit there and you feel that solar light all through your body and mind, and you feel like you are completely safe and protected, and you call upon the power of the sun, and you just see yourself safe and secure. And then you go. You get that 6-time knock. Sit there in the silence for a moment. You acknowledge it. You thank the power of the sun for being there to help you. And then you open your eyes and you recognize that it is done. Let's say that Venus, the planet of love and beauty, is a spell that you wanted to do. You wanted to maybe bring a spell of attraction or self-love and appreciation, or maybe you wanted to bring romance or something into your life. Maybe you wanted to enhance your own personal creativity and artistic talents, your allure. Maybe you wanted to allow yourself to be more sexy, and more attractive. You decided that you wanted to do a spell for success in the arts or design, some sort of luxury that you are desiring, that kind of prosperity. And then you take and you just decide, well, maybe you wanted a Birkin bag, and you think, well, gosh, I don't need a Birkin bag. That's just too much. It's too much. And then you think to yourself, wait a minute, I'm not hurting anybody if I get a Birkin bag. Isn't it okay for me to have that luxury as long as all my bills are paid and everything is good? What's wrong with me having what I want? Okay, I'm going to do a spell for the Birkin bag. And so it's a luxury that's perfect for Venus. And you call upon the power of Venus, you sit there and you feel deserving of the thing that you want. And you see yourself having that thing and you're very happy about it. And then you go. You sit in the silence for just a few moments and you express great gratitude and you just open your eyes, and that's it. Let's say you had a desire to do a spell of Mercury. Maybe you wanted to enhance your communication or clarity of understanding, express yourself better. Maybe you wanted to learn a new language or increase your ability to understand and operate within a language that you already know. Clear thinking, eloquence. Maybe you wanted to do public speaking, or maybe that you had an exam coming up, or you wanted help in finding a new car, something to commute with, or you wanted a better system of business in your business. Maybe you wanted a better financial system or better advertising. So whatever mercurial thing you want, let's say maybe you wanted to learn how to write better. You wanted to become a better writer. And so you just sit there and you think about that, call upon the power of Mercury. You'd see yourself writing better. You'd see yourself in a situation where you knew your writing had improved and that you were so happy about it. And then you'd go 8 times. You'd sit there in the silence for just a few moments and then express great gratitude. and open up your eyes and know that it is done. And finally, let's say you wanted to do a spell of the moon, and you recognize that the moon deals with emotions and intuition, magic in general, emotional healing, psychic abilities, something about your home or motherhood or children, or dealing with the health issues of the female body, and the type of love that we have of a mother for a child, working with the goddess. So let's say you were doing a spell that you wanted to increase your clairvoyant abilities. So you'd sit there, you'd call upon the power of the moon, and you would imagine that you were opening up your third eye and that you were able to see things that you couldn't see before. You were able to see auras. You were able to see the future. You were able to see through the illusions and into the truth. You just find a way to know that that's happening and imagine it. Daydream about that for a few moments. And then you might even ask out loud for help with getting those clairvoyant abilities more fine-tuned. When you felt like that was finished, you would just go, nine times. You'd sit there in the silence. You'd be very grateful and offer a lot of gratitude to the presence of that lunar energy. And then you'd open your eyes and you'd know that all is well. Now, you may decide that you want to repeat these once a day for a while until you get a sense that all is happening well, like we do. In a lot of magic, we repeat a spell once a day until we get a sense that we don't need to cast it anymore because we have peace and certainty that this thing is coming about. Or maybe you decide that you want to do the amount of days, that you repeat the amount of days of the number of the planet. So you might do a Saturn spell and you decide, I'm going to do this 3 days in a row, or I'm going to do the Jupiter spell 4 days in a row, etc. Or you might want to do a one-off. That's completely up to you. It's a very simple and very malleable system, but it's very powerful in its simplicity. So try not to make it more complicated than it is. The simplicity is the power here. And you have to come from the understanding that infinite intelligence can work through planetary energies in order for you to get what you need and to get your desires met, and that is infinite intelligence's desire for you, is to be happy, but that we must initiate it. And that is very technically here, we are knocking. Just so if you wanted to be real New Testament about it, the character called Jesus in that book said, knock and it shall be opened, seek and you shall find, ask and you will be answered, etc. So we're now actually knocking on the door of each and every planet that we need help through. But remember that all of these things don't come from those planetary forces. They come from infinite intelligence through those planetary forces, and that you have every right to it. You have every right to get your needs met and your desires met. And that's all there is to it. Thank you so much. Until next time, blessed be. Okay, let's see if we have any questions. Ooh, I just spilled water everywhere. Yeah, okay. It's one of those days. Do you follow planetary days, or can you do it on any of the days? It's always a good idea to follow the planetary days if that's something that's in your practice. It's just a good idea to do that. And to also look at the waxing moon versus the waning moon, just like with any kind of spell casting. I live in an apartment. Do I leave the water outside or do I clean it? Well, it depends. If your apartment door opens up into an interior hallway, you might not want to do that because you don't want to get in trouble for putting water where there might be carpeting or something like that. But if you're opening up to an exterior walkway, I don't see any problem with you pouring it out on over your threshold and leaving the coins out there. If in fact that you can't do that, then what I would do is take a little bit of the wash that you've made and just wash down your front stoop and then go out to the general entrance of your apartments and then pour the rest of it out there so that it's outside, and it will evaporate, and then somebody will find those coins. Would you say which angels get with each planet? You can, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with incorporating your angelic magic with it. Just try not to overcomplicate it. That's the point of this whole system, is that it doesn't necessarily belong to any other system. It's its own little thing. So you can incorporate it with the angels, and there's nothing wrong with that. Just try not to make it too complicated. Those were great questions, by the way. And thank you for being here today. We'll be back with the next Arbitel of Magic lesson tomorrow. And then we'll have our Witch's Rosary on Friday. We'll have a Psalm spell on Saturday and a live stream lecture on Sunday. So I hope you can join us each and every day. I adore you. And thank you so much to the amazing moderators. It looks like today we had Dre and Diane. So thank you so much, Dre. Thank you so much, Diane. And thank you to all of you for being here today. Until next time, blessed be.